Welcome to the Sales Influence Podcast, where we talk about finding the why in how people buy. I'm your host, Victor Antonio, and today I'm not going to talk about sales. Not really, but indirectly. I got this great email via YouTube from Joseph McCrae. So Joseph McCrae, if you're listening, man, this one's for you. You asked me a bunch of questions in this email, and I'm just going to pick one that I want to share with my audience because I think they'll benefit from the answer. Joseph writes, Victor Antonio, I said it before and I'll keep saying it every day until I'm 6 feet under. You are the best, period. Joseph, I love you. Just know that, man. Thank you very much. It continues. I've been a subscriber to your channel for a while, and I'm an avid consumer of your sales, marketing, self-help materials. I know of no equal to you when it comes to technical content, but from the looks of your career trajectory, you'll move into the Tony Robbins territory next. I don't know about that, but I'm going to do my best. Anyway, he said, before you make it to Forbes, haha's richest list, can you please create one long video series? And he says, a while ago, you did a few videos on social media and how it is the modern funnel. Ooh, that's the key part. That's what I want to talk to you about. Social media is the modern funnel. He has that down. He continues and ends with, I think it would be a good video series that you can sell. Yes, I will buy, pre-order even. I would like to see the following series for infopreneurs like myself. Well, let's talk about that, Joseph. One of the topics you wanted to talk about is the top of the funnel, content creation strategies. Right? Different ways that I create content. How do I use it to market myself? How do I use it to grow my business? Now, if you're listening to this, it doesn't matter if you're an entrepreneur, small business owner, or a large corporation, the ability to curate content, create it, curate it, disseminate it is becoming more and more important. If you recall, there was a book called The Challenger Sale that came out around 2012. And one of the pieces of data that they highlighted from their studies is that consumers are 50% into the buying cycle before they decide to contact a vendor or supplier. Let me say that again because this is really important. Buyers are 57% into the buying process before they decide to contact a customer. Another study, I believe it was by Sales Benchmark Index, says that number is more like 70% into the buying cycle. Now, what does that mean, and how do we tie it back to the modern funnel called social media? 57 or 70%, whichever number you choose to believe, the buyer is more informed. That's what they mean. They're into the buying cycle. They've pretty much made a lot of decisions of what they want. I've heard the phrase preference formation being thrown around. Their preferences are being formed as they go online searching for information, researching, and they're starting to form their preferences. Google said that on average, people look at 10 sources of information before deciding to call a vendor. So in other words, when your customers contact you, they know a lot about you. The question is, how did they find out about you and know so much about you? Social media, the modern funnel. This is why it's critical that if you're an entrepreneur, small business owner, or large corporation, you need to have a very large presence, a big footprint on the internet when it comes to content that relates to your product or service. Said another way, if you offer a product, if you offer a service, and you're not pushing out content onto the internet to position yourself as an expert, as the people to come to when people have a question about that specific product or service, then you're missing out. People are consuming video today like it's candy. I mean, it's just amazing how much video is being consumed every day. And now people are moving away from their laptop, and now their phone is becoming the primary window for consuming information. This is amazing. And so if today you don't have a social media presence, then I think you're just basically screwing yourself. And if I can say it that bluntly, you're screwing yourself. Because right now, think about how you buy. Let's just slow this down a little bit. Think about how you buy. When you have a question about something, what do? You go online. If you don't know how to do something and you need to see it done visually, where do you go? YouTube. So everybody's going online to find resources, information. That's where you need to position yourself as an expert. You need to put stuff out there. For example, last week I spoke to an RV company, right? It's really a network / association, large companies, right? They sell RVs, recreational vehicles. It's amazing, by the way, how much these things cost and how many things you need to know about them. And sure enough, there were only 2 or 3 companies there that were actually using YouTube, for example, to drive traffic to their website, which blew me away because that market is perfect for social media, especially YouTube. Because, look, when you got an RV, there's so many things that can go wrong with that thing when you're on the road that sometimes you need to make it repaired, you need to fix it, or you need to know how to do something specific. What better way than to go on YouTube to find that information? But what if you are an RV company? What if you started creating content to help people on the road in case they have problems with their RV? To depend on you, to go to your channel, your YouTube channel, to always find the answers. And once they find the answers in the future, when they want to buy, upgrade, trade in, whatever it may be, their RV, they're going to think of you. So we need, by we, I mean you and I, we both need to create content that surrounds what we offer. What's our core product or service? And then what can we share with people that really relates to our core product, but also gives value? See, I like to think that when I get on TV or in front of a camera or behind this microphone, I am giving value to you. I'm not trying to sell you something. I'm trying to give you great content. And my hope is that you'll go, I kind of like this guy, Victor. And maybe you'll share my information with somebody else, and they'll share it with somebody else. And maybe one of those people will make a decision like, hey, maybe I'll buy his products. Hey, maybe I'll bring him to train our people, or maybe I'll attend his workshop. By me creating content, my hope is to push, diffuse, disseminate my name into the market using these different social media channels. Now, I have a different philosophy than most trainers, consultants, speakers, small business owners when it comes to creating content. Most people, I should say a lot of people, like to outsource their stuff. And this is for you, Joseph. I don't like to outsource my stuff. I like to do it in-house. I have my own little video studio I created here at home. I do my podcast. I have a little podcast station that I created. I do that myself also. So when it comes to the video, filming it, editing it, uploading it, tagging it, making it search engine friendly, I do all that myself. It's not as hard as many people think. Software today is so much simpler to use than it was, let's say, 10 years ago. To do the things I want to do, it's not that hard. When it comes to the podcast, the same thing. Recording it, editing, uploading it, putting it on iTunes, syndicating it, getting it out there. I do that all myself. Now, I'm not saying you have to do this, but what I am saying is that you have the power to do this yourself. If today, again, you're an entrepreneur, small business, large corporation, and you're not cranking out content that helps people understand your product or service better, let me say that again. Creating content that helps people understand your product or service better, you're simply missing out. By putting this information up there, you're going to start attracting a lot of people. When I first started out, it was almost like throwing something into a void. First couple of videos, nobody ever watched them, right? But what happens is you got to stick with it. You got to hang in there. You got to stay in the game. You just have to keep creating great content, and eventually people will start noticing. Now, if you don't want to create the content yourself, there's a lot of resources out there. Like Joseph had mentioned Fiverr, 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 Fiverr. You can get stuff done for like $5. You want a graphic? Somebody will do it for you for $5. I've used them several times, and sometimes I pay $20 because I want something special. So it's all a la carte. I also use a website called Upwork. Used to be Elance. Upwork, let's say you have a project. I just finished writing my new sales book. I'm super excited about it, but I can't tell you about it yet. But I finished writing my book. And, after a while, I can only look at my own book so much because, you just don't start seeing the errors anymore, the typos. So I contracted somebody on Upwork to do the editing for me. They did a great job, and for pennies on the dollar. So again, use resources to create content, but at the end of the day, whether you do it yourself or you outsource this, the point is you have to create content around your product or service, content that provides value to the market, so in return, people will start saying, Who is this person? Who is this company? And what do they do? And maybe I want to buy from them. And that, Joseph McCrae, is how I do internet marketing. Use all the resources you can to be better at selling. This is it for this Sales Influence podcast. Don't forget to leave me a message or some feedback on iTunes, Stitcher, or YouTube. Let me know what you think. I greatly appreciate it. Let me know if you like these chats that I'm having with you right now. Also, check out my sales training website, seminarsonselling.com. Also, the Sales Mastery Intensive Public Workshop. Check out the date for the next one, salesmasteryintensive.com. We spend 12 hours in a room locked up, you and I, only 12 people. We go over 12 sales modules, and at the output, at the end of the day, you will have a sales process that will sell more. On that note, I want to thank you for listening. This is Victor Antonio, always reminding you, selling ain't hard
Every manager can
when you know how. Take
the
care.
difference between a motivated, value-driven sales team and one that's stuck in a rut. CEOs know the difference too. They can see it clearly in the profit and loss columns. The question is, how do you get your team to this elite level? Is there something extra you can do to break through the remaining resistance and equip them with the right mindset to grow your business? Yes, there is. But you're not going to do it with one of those cheesy inspirational speakers or some self-proclaimed guru. What you need is someone with a real business track record to deliver key insights in a captivating way, to give your team the right tools for selling in today's tough marketplace. Enter Victor Antonio, experienced executive, innovative thinker, compelling speaker. He's ready to deliver the message you need your people to hear, not with a canned speech, but a customized, dynamic keynote designed to deliver results. Bring Victor Antonio to your next event before the competition does.